Director of the gallery here, the Snelgrove Gallery. We're in the Department of Art and Art History. I'm very, very happy to be introducing Eduardo Urbano Merino from Mexico City. You know, a few months ago, we got a message from Dr. Jose Zenteno, who's sitting in the back row here, telling us that he had been supporting an artist and was involved in the commission of a new work that's going to be unveiled in the Royal University Hospital tomorrow at 1:30. If anybody's interested in attending the unveiling, it is open to the public. I'm assuming that you've actually known Eduardo for some time. And I think I was watching a YouTube video of you talking about one of his work, this work actually, last year. And but you were also profiling another painting that was up on an easel, right? Yes. A figure painting of a woman here. And I was imagining that was perhaps your painting and that you were a personal patron as well of Eduardo's. So I want to thank Dr. Zenteno very much for turning us on to Eduardo. Dr. Zenteno is a neurologist and a specialist in epilepsy research. And in fact, the painting that Mr. Urbano was commissioned to do was on the subject of epilepsy. And you're going to show us some photographs of that painting that will be unveiled tomorrow. You know, we're very lucky to have somebody like Eduardo, because it's quite unusual for us in this department, even though we've got a kind of we're notable for encouraging and supporting figurative painting here. Although it's rare for us to get any visiting artist who's so accomplished in the Renaissance skills of, you know, perspective and human anatomy as Eduardo, so that it's going to be a real treat for us to see your work here. And in fact, when I was looking at your paintings on your website, we've got a very nicely developed website. Many of Eduardo's paintings are quite large, on the scale of murals, and I couldn't help but think that coming from Mexico, that you were placing yourself in the tradition of the Mexican muralists, right?
Yes.
And maybe you can talk to us a little bit more about that and how you see yourself as, you know, carrying on that tradition, which is a great tradition from Mexico and all through South and Latin America. Because I know on your website, as I was reading through your biography, you list as some of your influences Caravaggio, Rembrandt, Michelangelo, Velázquez, and Dali, Salvador Dali, which may be the perfect kinds of historical precedents for the Mexican muralists. Yes? So Mr. Urbano was born in Mexico City, continues to live there. He went to school at the Academy of San Carlos. There he's exhibited and he's collected across North America and Europe. And I'm going to stop right now and hand it right over to you. So thank you very much for coming. Thank
you. The video. This first video will show you one of the processes in my sculptures, which talks about how is the size of the sculpture, and you will see in the pictures from the beginning to the end. All the process is very complicated, but it's a few minutes, just 5 minutes. Look. This was commissioned for a very important lawyer in Mexico. It's a justice image, you know, the lady with the balance in the hand. I've been working months in this sculpture, but now you can see it in 5 minutes. They are the people who worked with me to make the bronze sculptures. Very well. Okay, now I will show you some works, some paintings, murals. Talk about them.
Is it these ones here?
Yes.
Do you want to start with that one or a different one? Is this okay?
This is the same. Well, this one is a painting, which is now in Saskatoon, by the way. Okay.
Oh, excuse me, Eduardo, I noticed that, and I meant to mention this, that the Rouge Gallery is actually
Yes.
representing some of these works here,
Exactly.
here in Saskatoon.
Yes, 2 of my paintings are now in the Rouge Gallery. One of them is this. Talks about the Pacal. Pacal was a king in Mexico, Maya king, very important king in that culture. And it's as some kind of way to see another point of view of Pacal. I make this painting. As you can see, it's a corn or maize. I forgot how to pronounce it. But it's a corn.
Yeah.
In Mexico, as you know, it's the country of the corn. And the Mayas think we are made by corn, all the human bodies, and we are in the age of the men of corn. So at the end of the day, if you see the calendar, the Maya calendar, we are in the same age of them. So that's the reason I included in my painting. So here's the cacao, chocolate. I don't know if you know, but the cacao was the present from Mexico to the world. The chocolate was made first in Mexico and then became famous in the world. And now the Switzerland make money with our name. No problem. The dragonfly, it's in my last paintings appears, and of them. It's an insect which is not disgusting. I think it's a great insect. Looks beautiful, and it's some kind of happy insect, not like flies. It's a nice insect to put it in the painting and make some movements and make the painting moves. Take Chile, Mexico. It's very famous food in Mexico. Pacal and watermelon. There is a theory. Our flag have 3 colors: green, white, and red. The traditional theory says the red one is about the blood and all that things. There is another theory in history in Mexico, which talks about our flag is with the colors of the melon, watermelon. So Okay. Oops.
Sorry. I think it's... Okay, try again. Okay, just let me know when you want to change it.
Okay, thank you.
Or it's not
This
working.
painting is the newest one. This girl is a friend of mine, by the way. She is a model. She was Miss Argentina. It's a nice person. And as you can see, another one, a dragonfly there. And talks about the name of the painting is some kind of complicated. It's the rose. It came from the deepest thoughts of a lady. Some kind of that in English, but and it's that kind of painting which is not relaxed painting, but at the end of the day, I think the ladies always trying to say something strong, and need to say that something with lovely words, because they are ladies. But at the end, looks very strong. I don't know if you get it, but that's the point of the painting. What? Well, this is in Saskatoon as well, in the Roche Gallery. You can see it in life. The model is another friend, professional model from Argentina, and talks about the Mayas as well, with all of the wall behind her, have some kind of mix between the Mayas and our world. For example, here you can find the Einstein theory. Here you can find the date, the painting date in Maya numbers with 10, 9, and 2030. The date. And the painting is made with the golden point as well as so much of my works. I always try to make the paintings with the precision of the golden point. The lady is in the division of 1.618, and she's told at 1.618 as well. So, I don't know. My English is okay. Yeah. Okay. If you divide the painting, how is the size between 1.6? The lady is standing just there. So maybe if you don't in the art business or in the art composition doesn't know that, but the most famous pieces of artworks in the history of human have that relation. But the golden point is very important. So this painting is almost perfect in that thing. The rest of them is a color. The red one is always make you feel strong, some kind angry. But my works most of the time doesn't have that kind of peace in art. The art is not always to feel peace. The art is to feel strong and to think about questions, and it's not just to make happy persons. You need to think about what you see and the movements of the vines, which is very common in my work as well, by the way. And here is the M theory. You can see the spell it here, M theory, because I'm very worried about the science and the physics. There is a guy in USA who is a very famous scientist. His name is Ed Witten, and he make a theory, a new theory for the superstrings theory. The theory names is M theory. So at the end of the day, it's a mix, again, the mix between the Mayas' ancient knowledge with our knowledge in in the present.
How large are these paintings that you're showing?
It's 1 meter and 1 meter 20, but I don't know how much is in
Okay, that gives us an idea.
well, it's a very diffuse image, but this is the most newest painting. And the name of this image, you can see it later in my website. But the name of this image is this. And as you see, as you know, Mexico City was built in the ancient Aztec city was made with pyramids. And maybe 50 years ago, and in the University of Mexico was finding things behind the buildings in the downtown of Mexico, and they found this structure. At the end was a goddess, a god. Then this god, she was the theories say that she was murdered, but her brother and her brother cut her head and dropped it to the sky and made the moon. So her head was in the Aztec point of view was the moon. So as you can see, the girl she is looking the moon, and from her hair came some kind of red. But it's not it's blood, but looks like
Tree.
yes. There's not this metamorphic blood. You get it? Okay. I beg your pardon for my English, but sometimes it's complicated to talk about my art. But
Yes.
I will my best effort to show you. What's next? This is a mural. Oh, you want to sit here? Because I feel like this is a mural. Talks about again this mural talks about what is bad and what is good. I was reading about Nietzsche. Nietzsche talks in his books what is bad and what is good. And if you see this girl, looks like a double, isn't it? But with angel flags. And this girl looks like an angel, so shine like an angel. But if you see with careful, one of them looks more evil in the face, and this one. Even if she is looking more white, at the end of the day, she is more evil in the eyes, like this one. And it's the same here with the guys. It's the compensation between the evil and the good. At the end, you can ask me for everything. So, and planets, the planets in the history of human race have theories about which one is the best, the bad one. Mars used to be the bad one because it's red. It is not. Again, it's about the colors. At what the point of view of the colors make sense in the human history. Well, some of you saw this painting in the past. It's again is the girl with the vine, and again is the proportion of the golden point. The girl is standing just in the line of the golden point. There's a cricket. Now I get the name. There's a cricket, and this painting is a special one because all behind it's a mix between oil painting and acrylic painting. All behind is acrylic. All this is acrylic, and the vine, the lady and the cricket are oil. sounds easy, but if you mix that two ways to make the painting, it sometimes is very complicated. So in painting techniques, one of the most difficult techniques in painting is to mix oil and acrylic and make them work together without problems with the structure. Sometimes the oil painting can broke if you put it behind the acrylic painting. But it's by the way, this one is in Saskatoon as well, in the doctor's collection. I don't know if he is if you want to show the painting later. I don't know. Well, tomorrow in the Royal University Hospital, we're going to put this painting in permanent exhibition and to have an invitation to join us. This painting is has been very important in the epilepsy magazines and some newspapers in the last year, because when I get when I get this commission to paint this painting, I was thinking how the patients feels, how the patients are afraid about this disease, and they doesn't want to see blood or operation, or they want to see the fate and the way to get out of the problem. So that at the end I get this image which talks about the patients with seizures feeling very bad and stand up, and the doctor say, okay, it's okay, the nightmare is behind, and now you are okay, you feel better. So again, I need to say this guy, the young one, is my cousin. He's a real doctor in Mexico. He's cardiology, and this guy is my mother's husband, who is a doctor as well. So they are in the painting. The image is important, I think, because sometimes the doctors, when the patients came to them, the doctors knows about medicine, but it's difficult for them to show a fate, to show how to talk about how the patient can go out of the problem without say the truth. The truth is there is an operation, there is a blood. So they show that this work just with one image. With one image, they can show the way to get out without all that problem. And that's all. It's a straight message, I think, and friendly message. Tomorrow you can see it in the hospital. What time?
It's 1:30.
1:30. We will put it in the permanent exhibition. Okay.
Eduardo, can you just say a few things about, you've got some very specific symbolism here, so maybe you could point out some of those.
As you remember in the history of art, always left hand is for the evil, and right hand is for the good things. So it's the same. In the right hand, you can see the future, the good things will happen if you get closer with the doctors. And in the left hand, you can see the guy who is suffering for the disease. The neurons in the epilepsy. Here is some neurons, dark ones, sick neurons, and here is a neurons with cured neurons. This thing is the grid, the thing that the doctors use to cure the patients. And here is the Canadian symbol. And here's the golden point in this painting is this one, which is the lily. What
Tiger
lily?
lily.
I always forget the name. It's the flower of the Saskatoon and Saskatchewan.
Yay.
Here's but it's not the point as this is a calculated point of the golden point of the painting, which is very important for the human. When you see some piece of art, always your eyes will turn around the painting, and at the end will finish in that point. That's the reason this is called the golden point. Tomorrow you will see the real one in the hospital.
And maybe just to add, Eduardo, that we had the opportunity to do an article review for epilepsy and behavior with probably 10 pieces of art since the renaissance of epilepsy surgery. And then we finished with this one in the paper, in the article. And that paper has been very interesting because you know how is internet now and science goes quickly. And the article has made that this painting has a lot of international recognition. Like it has been seen in several places, and there are a lot of comments in different areas. So it's
And what's the cover of the magazine?
what's the cover of the journal?
What's the cover of the magazine? Excellent.
Next one.
Well, this painting looks small here, but it's a mural. It's 5 meters, 10 meters. It's huge painting. As example, if you take me a picture with my mural, I will look this size. This is a human body from my mural, so it's huge. And it talks about the independence of Mexico. 2 years ago, I had that commission to put it in a building, a very important building in Mexico. Now it's in the permanent exhibition in the collection in Hidalgo State in Mexico, and talks about our history, our fight for being an independent country. The white horse in the history of art, you can see in Velázquez, Goya, Rembrandt, Europe artists. Always the white horse in that paintings always talk about the country, the people of the country, because if you talk about the Canadian independence and the war, it's obviously you always talk about the heroes, and in US is Lincoln, but nobody talks about the people who dies in the battles, and nobody knows them. So in Europe, if you see a mural or a sculpture or painting, and you see some horse, if the horse is white, it's always representing all the people who dies behind the heroes. So I put it in front of my mural. These are our heroes, with all respect, but the people is from them. And I put an ancient lady with fighting here, because I think it's not just in Mexico. In the history of the world, the ladies and the girls need to put it in front, because they are always fighting and doesn't appear in the history. So I put it in the mural in the front as well, in the front of the battle. This is the eagle with the snake in our flag. And talks about all that things, and it's huge. This is another one. Some of you maybe knows that thing. It's a calendar, Aztec calendar. As you know, in Mexico, the Aztecs, the Mayas, have a very precision calendaries. Mathematics was forward. Their knowledge was forward in mathematics and astronomy. So this is the sun, the sun in Aztec calendar talks about the different stations in the year, winter. So the fire comes from the calendar, and becomes to be a lady who flies in the sky. And this other lady is like a rose, trying to get to stop the time, because if the time is running, the rose is going to die. So the rose trying to stop the time. Another dragonfly here. And why I put I include the angel in that mural? Because if you see, the angels doesn't have anything to do in the Aztec knowledge because I want to mix again our world with the Aztec world. So it's a mix between religions and points of view. The sky, the moon, because you see the sun, you need to see the moon. This is the moon, and the angel is there, and this girl is in the water and is floating there. But why the water is like a wall? Because I don't want the mural to have sense with the balance. If you are in earth and you are stand up in earth, always the water with the forgot the name. Always the water came down, isn't it? So in my mural, the water flowed with no sense, as in the universe, in the space. You need to see it in life. You need to go to Mexico to see it live. Well, as you can see, the size is huge, and I hope you like it. This is another mural. It's the same size of the last one, and again talks about the Mayas, about the representation of the universe, the moon, the numbers of the Mayas. This is a god of the water god. How's the name of this in English? Owl? The owl? Owl, yeah. And the eagle came to the center. By the way, these three models are always in my paintings. They are great models. And talks about the Maya's point of view, about the time, about here's one of the most important pyramids in the Mayas in Palenque. Talks about the nature of the knowledge of the Mayas, which is complicated to explain in a few minutes. You need to read about the Mayas. It's an extraordinary culture, and I hope you like. It's a huge painting. There is more sense with you see it in life, like the picture. But and another one is again is the blood. Even if you see the blanket, or for real, it's the blood. And I'm here working on it. The girl is watching what I do.
Eduardo, just a question: how frequent painters they like to paint themselves? Because you are there, right? But
yes.
Not in the other one.
I think the feeling for the art sometimes is I do lots of paintings and sculptures, and I don't know if you was taking a picture of your friends, and you didn't be in the picture all the time because you are taking the picture So sometimes you say, hey, why you don't take the pictures now and I can be in the picture? Because the paintings last many years, centuries. One painting can be here for about 7 or 8 centuries. So I want to appear and say, hey, again, I'm going to do this. And it's not just my sign, I'm part of it. So I put it there. I know it's very selfish thing, but it's my prerogative. Out at the mural we passed, here is more clear. Another mural, you saw it. You saw it. This is one of my sculptures. Now you see is the same thing I was talking about, the corn. We was made the corn. This is the corn, the DNA mixed, because the Mayas thought that we was made with the corn DNA. And the name of this god, it's not a god, it was a king, Maya king. The name is Pacal. Pacal is very important in the history of Mayas. He was the king of Palenque. Palenque is a very interesting place to visit in Mexico. Palenque have a revolution in mathematics, in astronomy, and even they make some new knowledge about the water, how to make the water go up the mountains with the engineering knowledge. So Pacal was very smart guy, and it was most of the most important guys in the history of the Mayas. He get in the king position in the 600th century, lives about 80 years. He was a great king. He get all the Mayas culture get forward just for his knowledge. He was amazing. So now this piece in bronze is huge. It's about 80 centimeters, and I hope you can see this piece in Saskatoon coming soon in these days. You will see it in live version. Here you can see 3 lines, 2 lines, and 1 point, which is Maya numbers, and it means 650. 650, the time he get in the throne. So it's Pacal.
That's everything. I'll play that
Okay.
last video.
Well, if you have some questions,
Do you have this other video?
the other video.
What's going on? Oh,
We can put
is
some
this the same one as before?
volume.
No, this is.
No, this is another one. This sculpture is I made for the Rheumatology College in Mexico. Talks about the arthritis disease, and it's all the process. I think it's important if you see some artist works how the process is, because in the last years some people make no ethic, do things easily, just copying or make models from the other models, and you need to see what happens in the process to know it's real art from the beginning. You made it with hands. Here's 3 hands, but one of them is very have an arthritis and is very sick. In the middle, the second hand you will see is became to be cured as with the medicine, and the hand in the top of the structure is completely healthy. Look, and talks about the faith, talks about to get closer with the medicine, with the doctors. You need to get closer to the doctors, and you will be cured. The sculpture was shown the first time in very important place in Mexico, which is a castle. In Mexico City, we have maybe the only castle in all America, even in Canada, doesn't have a real castle from the centuries ago. In Mexico we have one, and in the castle showed the sculpture for the first time. Now the sculpture is in the permanent exhibition in the Rheumatology College in Mexico.
Eduardo, you used models for this as well, or photographs?
No, it's my hand.
That's your hand.
It's my hand. Even I didn't use a picture. I put my hand like that, and use my other hand to model.
But you must have studied hands that were afflicted by arthritis, yes?
Well, I passed 4 years making draws in the university. 4 hours per day with the real models. I'm an anatomy student. It again is all the process. Some people who make sculptures didn't show these guys. The artist, the guy who makes sculptures is not alone. You make the sculpture with your hands, but behind you exist people who helps you, and it's not. I try to show them because I think it's they need to. The people need to know I'm not alone with this. Here's the piece in bronze. By the way, when you make something in bronze, you need to think about the mix. What you think, what the people in our time thinks, because going to last maybe 2,000 or 3,000 years. So it's a shame when the people do things very similar to the things you find in the past. You can get, for example, when I do a pacal, a sculpture, I make the pacal face. But I mix it with something of our times, talking about the DNA, and send it to the future. If you make something with no sense, if you make something and you doesn't include a point of view of your time, I think it's a loss of time. You need to put it something of your point of view and the knowledge of your age in the piece to send it to the future, and in order to the people in the future see what happens in our time. So you have some questions? Some of you is sleeping.
What are you working on now? What is your project now, to date?
Well, I have in Mexico. I will begin a mural. I will begin a new sculpture, and I have about 10 projects in my mind. 7 of them is about to begin in the next days. I always working. I always have a new project. Some of them are closer to the medicine and science. I'm very worried about that. I think the art is not just for paint beautiful bodies. We need to mix knowledge and science and art can be together in the piece and talk about talk about our time, our knowledge, our new point of views. And it's a shame my English is okay because I want to tell you so much more about my paintings and the sculptures. I hope this conversation can be help to understand what I do. Anyway, in the websites and all the web, you can find things about me and what I think about the art and my works.
Eduardo, how much of your practice, how much of your artwork is driven by commissions? Because you're clearly in demand by many scientists, by medical research facilities. I saw a huge, I think you showed a picture of the 4 paintings. Those were part of a health spa that's going up now. So you're probably, can I assume that you're making a living as an artist, first of all?
Well,
or do you work as a waiter on the side?
no.
No.
I'm some kind of a slave of arts. I'm always, I begin my day thinking in arts and end up my days with arts. And the real art, it's not a relaxing thing. The real art is always with you, like I don't know how to say, but it's near to, I'm not sure, a lovely nightmare. A lovely nightmare. It's always with me as I pass my time thinking how to say something, to put it in the piece of art, and I always worry about if I do the great job to say something, to show the people what I'm trying to say. And I don't know if you are talking about that, but I'm a kind of a slave of art.
So you live from
I'm live for the arts.
But the projects that you're working on, are they mostly working on commissions that people have asked you for?
Yes.
Or do you have like completely independent works that you're doing as well?
When I began years ago, I used to be very famous to make copies. When I in my 20s or 21 years old, I made copies from Rembrandt, Caravaggio, Goya, exactly the same. And it was for the money sometimes, but it was to get the knowledge as well. Then became to be more independent, and now the people pay me for make some pieces of art, but all of them are my own ideas and my own art. I have I'm free in that way. I think the most difficult critic to me, it's me. I make the pieces of art to make me feel better, and then the client is. I think the clients will be happy with my work, but first of all, I need to be happy with my work first. It's my first point.
Is that ever a struggle for you? For example, have you ever had a commission that you felt uncomfortable with in some way? And did you ever struggle with that? I'm thinking of somebody like Goya, for example, who, editorialized, made comments in some of his works that were subversive. And many artists would have received commissions from patrons that they wanted to undercut in subtle ways that could be read by certain people and not others. Do you ever have those struggles in your artwork?
No, because if you think that, you never work properly. I never think about what they going to, if the people going to be happy, especially in the magazines, because the magazines always talk what they need to talk to sell the magazine. Sometimes lie about the paintings. And I never think, I never worry about that when I was working. Responding to your question, it was a painting in my past, which one maybe was the only problem in my career, because the client was a very friend of mine, and give me a commission to paint a bullfight. And I'm against bullfight, and he knows. But it was another time, and he's one of my best friends, and I make the painting. Maybe it's the only painting I do with no feeling. I do the painting, no problem, but it's wrong. Maybe it's the only one. The rest of my paintings are with my heart.
Yes.
All of them. You included the for example, this is one example for your question. This sculpture was made last month. I made this sculpture last month, and it was a commission, but free commission. The client say, I want a sculpture. I want a sculpture. I just think about it and do whatever you want. And she proposed the topic. She told me, oh, maybe Bacal is a great topic, because she and I always talk about Bacal, and that's the reason I make the. But I make the sculpture with free of include what I want to include in the sculpture with no limits. I have no limits. That's another question. Yeah.
So does that take up quite a bit of your time as an artist, like meeting with potential commissioners and like forging out documents, what the agreement is, they pay such and such, and you have free reign to do what you want? Like that must, like as a business person,
Yeah.
artist, is
Well,
that, what percentage of your time would that take?
It's a good question. In the movies and some books talks about the artists like very crazy people who lives inside and doesn't have nothing to do with the commercial things, and it's a lie. The artists need to be good in commercial things as well, because at the end it's you are some kind of a product, but you need to be the best product. But if you have the best product and you doesn't have the commercial things around it, it's not good. So as an artist, you need to be the best selling your own art. And the best way, the first of all, is the art need to be the best in all the ways. It's not the best for the price, but you need to make the art with your heart, strong, and think. Never let the painting or the sculpture, because never let this painting because the price. I mean, if you were going to sell something and the client say, hey, I just can pay $5, so you need to make the best, even if they give you $5. I don't know if you get it. Always the art needs to be the best, and you need to be the best, sell it, and talk about what you do and what you're trying to say. We were talking about that this morning. If you get if you can go back in the time and looks Michelangelo, Da Vinci, and all that artists in Italy in the Renaissance. This artist was amazing salesman, amazing. Can you imagine go to the Pope to talk about the sculpture and what is the price of the sculpture with the Pope? And Michelangelo get from the Pope and say, I want money for my sculpture to the Pope. So you need to have very forward approach and you need to talk about you with strong words, and that's one of the most important points in the artist today and any time, to talk about you and talk about with the truth. Sometimes to get the commission, for example, if I get a client and there is another artist talking about him, you need to say the truth, because if you lie, you say, okay, I'm going to make the sculpture and I'm going to be great, and at the end you finally get the sculpture, but this is bad and it's not what you promise. Your career going to get down. You need to be the best for you first of all, and then the client will be happy. Another question? No problem.
You must have an agent though, or a representative, a gallery that represents you, or
I became in the professional art business when I was very young, about 16. I sold my first painting professionally when I was 16 years old. A gallery in Mexico came to me to make a business. That's the reason I prefer to get slowly to move slowly in that kind of business, because the galleries are not always what they promise, and the galleries sometimes are kind of commercially they want too much money for every piece. And when I was young, they make money with my art. For that reason, I prefer to work on my own and be my own representation. I have no. For example, here you have a Roach Gallery in Saskatoon, and I have honor with them. And if Roach Gallery have my paintings, I will be straight with them, and I have an honor, and my word is important to me. If I say they will be the only ones to sell my paintings here in Saskatoon, it's okay, and I will be in that. My word is on the business, but there is no paper, there is no sign. It's just between the Roach Gallery and me.
on a handshake.
I have no representation in that kind of level. I prefer to work on my own.
How often do you show in public galleries, or that aren't without, aside from commissions?
Well, that's a great question. One of my problems worldwide is when somebody, when I have the invitation to make an exhibition of my work, because from my childhood I never have enough paintings to cover a gallery, because all of them is sale. So it's very funny, because much of artists need to have some galleries to show their works, because they have the paintings there. But I never have paintings, because every painting I finish, or a sculpture, sold. So I never have enough pieces to show, and that's the reason sometimes I need to say no for the invitations, because I don't have enough works to show. Even one of my last exhibitions in Mexico, in Cozumel, which is a great island in Mexico to visit, was made with just lithographies, because the government there, I have the invitation for the government in that part of the country to show my work, and I say, I don't have any work to show. I was working in the mural, but they told me, okay, but you need to show something, whatever you want. And I said, well, lithographies. That's it. I think it's okay to me, because I prefer that to sell the pieces, not for the money, because it's the way you can see the people, what you do, the people like what you do. But at the end, that's the reason sometimes I need to say no for the invitations, and that's the reason maybe I have no as much exhibitions as I could have. Anyway, I have so much exhibitions in many parts of Mexico and Europe, and now here in Saskatoon as well.
Strikes me as a very nice problem to have.
It's a very nice problem to have. Exactly, the resume is exactly a very nice problem to have. Another question?
If there aren't any more questions or comments, I'm sure Eduardo will be around for a few minutes if you'd like to talk to him personally.
Don't worry, I'm not crazy. Well, I'm crazy, but I'm not standing here. So.
Thank you very much.